Where am I? Something's not quite right here. Mom?
Darren? Darren, is that you?
Mom, what the... but you're...
You're not my son anymore.
But I... What the hell was that? Did I see a ghost? It says Fuller. What's Fuller's grave doing here? Ugh!
You pussy. I'm gonna get you.
We'll see about that. What the? I don't believe it. Ah! Ah! What a crazy dream. What was that? Hello? Ah!
Were you having a nightmare?
What? Who are you?
I'm Ralph.
My name's Darren. Where am I? Is this the old academy?
Mr. Bubby and I live here.
What are you two doing here? You and Mr. Bubby?
We live here.
You've already said. But, is there nowhere else you could live?
No, the evil house where we used to live doesn't exist anymore, and we didn't want to go back there anyway.
Could it be that you once lived in Sir Robert's sanatorium?
And Mr. Bubby too. He protects me and tells me what I have to do.
It's good to have a friend.
And Mr. Bubby says that all the time too.
Did you see the big fire at the lighthouse?
Yeah, I like fire.
You wouldn't have liked this one.
Angelina was here. She came, and then she went, and then she was here again, and then there was someone wearing a white mask, and then there was fire.
Hold on. You know Angelina?
Yes, she was here a lot.
So, there was Angelina and a man with a mask, and then there was a fire?
Yes, first we hid ourselves because it was thundering, and the bad man wasn't supposed to see us. But then the fire had shone so nice, we just looked. I like fire.
Yeah, and then?
Then the fire went out. The rain put it out. Then you came. You were calling out loudly, but I didn't know what. Then you fell down and stopped moving. Mr. Bubby said I ought to get you into the dry.
Tell Mr. Bubby thanks from me. That was a good idea.
Mr. Bubby says, my pleasure. We don't often get visitors here.
What happened then?
Then the police arrived. We don't like them. They wanted to take us away to here. Then along came a really nice black car. It looked a lot different from the police cars or the cars we sometimes see in the village. It looked kind of old, but it was very nice and shiny. But it wasn't there for long.
Did you see who was sitting in it?
No.
Isn't it dangerous here? The ruins look like they're in danger of collapsing.
Sometimes stones do fall down when it's stormy and there's thunder or if the wind's blowing wildly. But then we always hide anyway. Mr. Bubby is scared of thunderstorms.
Are there good hiding places here then? Maybe some hidden rooms or passages?
We always hide ourselves here in our house. Nothing can happen to us here.
Yeah, sure. You said that Angelina was here quite often.
Yeah?
When was the first time she was here?
I don't know.
Approximately. Around about... What do you reckon?
100 years ago?
Huh. And what did she do here?
She had a very careful look around at everything, and then she found our house. She said she was looking for something. A door that led under the ground.
When she was here yesterday and disappeared for a short while, where was that?
I don't know. Mr. Bubby wanted to make himself nice for her and didn't look.
Mr. Bubby wanted to make himself nice for Angelina?
I think Mr. Bubby was a bit in love with her, but he could never bring himself to tell her.
And now, it's too late.
Maybe he'll tell her next time, when she comes to visit us. You think she'll come and see us again soon?
That's, I don't know, Ralph. Perhaps. You know Black Mirror Castle?
I've never been there. I think there are bad people that live there. Sir Robert lived there, and he was bad.
Yes, he was.
Our friend Samuel used to know the castle.
Samuel Gordon?
He used to help me and Mr. Bubby. I liked him. But then when they shut down Sir Robert's wicked house, they said that Samuel was a wicked person as well. I don't believe that. Sometimes you do things that are wrong, but you don't mean to be wicked. Wicked voices make you do it, said Mr. Bubby.
I need to get going, Ralph.
See you.
This shed looks anything but livable. On the other hand, Ralph will be better off here than in a sanatorium. You can't begin to imagine what that crazy Robert had done with the inmates. That's Ralph. And Mr. Bubby. I'd just like to get a bit closer to Ralph. If only I knew what I could talk to him about. I think he's a bit weird. The staircase leads to nothing. It must have fallen down at some point. I think that the picture has turned out very well. A weird stone head. It looks rather like a troll. This must have been a grand hall. Maybe with a gallery. There's the remains of the first story. I think it's an elder bush, but I'm not 100% sure. The branches are very long and straight, too. Very typical for them. It's pretty difficult to break off branches like these when the bush is full of sap. They have a thick, flexible bark and fibrous inner that you simply can't snap. The raven flew out of a crack in the rock. There might be a cavity behind that. Hey, what's this then? It's a little stone figure. It looks like a chess piece. It's the queen. A stone chess piece. It's the queen. A heavy stone pedestal. There are 4 recesses. I can see some remaining bits of black and white coloring in between. Like a chessboard. A solid stone slab. It looks like there could be a space behind it. But how can I shift this slab? It's gotta weigh a ton. These stones look a bit weird somehow. They don't look like they've all fallen like this just by chance. It looks like they've been stacked up. There's a chess piece lying there. That's gotta be a pawn. A small stone chess piece. That has to be the pawn. I heard a quiet click. I heard a quiet click. Difficult to break off branches like these when the bush is full of sap. They have a thick, flexible bark and fibrous inner. Not exactly what you'd call a cozy home sweet home. The corrugated iron will keep the rain off, but it must get hellish cold in there, especially in winter. Poor guy. Hello, Ralph?
Hi, Darren.
I saw a raven there a short while ago.
We don't like him. He's always screeching and flapping, and he steals things.
He steals things.
He once stole the lid off one of our cans.
He likes shiny things.
Me too. And it was our lid.
Do you, by any chance, know anything about the chess pieces that are hidden somewhere around here?
What are chess pieces?
Little figures that are kind of kings, queens, castles, and knights. They're usually small and made out of wood. But I'm looking for bigger ones made from stone.
Mr. Bubby found one like that. It's a horse, a really nice one.
Hey, cool. Would you lend it to me?
It's Mr. Bubby's toy.
And would Mr. Bubby lend it to me?
Mr. Bubby plays with the horse. If you take it away, then he'd have nothing left to play with.
I understand. But what if I brought him something else to play with? What is he like playing with?
With horses?
And, what else?
Mr. Bubby likes music. Maybe you can get him something he can play music on. You can get him a piano.
That could be a problem. About the horse figure,
Have you got anything you can play music on?
No, but perhaps...
Mr. Bubby would like something that makes music.
Okay. I need to get going, Ralph.
See you.
I can still see her. The charred body hunched so unnaturally. Terrible. I'll never be able to forget this image my whole life long. A small smudged note. It says, "The king went north, the pawn went south, the queen..." I can hardly read the rest. "And the knight to the... something ST." The fire didn't spread much. Grass was already wet before it rained. Those bastards covered her in gasoline and put a match to her. I hope she was already... I hope she didn't have to suffer too long. When I get my hands on these guys, I'll avenge Angelina. And I'll avenge myself. They've taken away the only person that still meant something to me. They look like they've been hanging there for decades. What's that amongst the stones? A chess piece. The king. I wonder who put the chess piece there. It can't have been sitting there between the stones long. It's not been weathered at all and looks brand new. There's a knife sticking out of the wooden beam. It looks like someone's been carving into the beam. With little talent, but a lot of patience. The knife isn't new anymore, and also not especially sharp. No good for carving, but you'd sure still be able to cut through something with it. Cut a little piece out of a branch. A small piece of wood from out of the elder bush. It's damp, and you can clearly recognize the thick bark and the light-colored wooden core. I saw that on TV once. If you hit the bark with a hard object, like with a knife, then the bark loosens itself from the wood. Then, with just a bit of pressure, you can push the piece of wood out of the bark. Just cut a slit in the bark here, push the piece of wood back in a little, and there you go. A whistle. Ralph's gonna like the whistle. By pushing the piece of wood into the bark, you can even alter the pitch of the note. Hello, Ralph?
Hi, Darren.
Hey, Ralph! Have a look at what I got here.
It's much better than a piano.
And smaller, too. Now, can I just borrow the horse for a short while if I give you the whistle for it?
Okay.
I'd just like to get a bit closer to Ralph. I heard a quiet click. I heard a quiet click. Phew. The right arrangement of the pieces has made the gate open. I'll just leave it there. When Mr. Bubby has had enough of his whistle and wants his horse back, then he can come and get it. Damn bird again. He's got his own private way into this room. So the raven got in here. An old-fashioned oil lamp. This place must have been even spookier in flickering light from a flame. I think that the picture has turned out very well. A stone plinth. There are 3 grooves on each side. No idea what you can do with it. I'd rather leave it where it is. I'd say the raven pecked it apart. Maybe he was looking for something edible, or more sparkling things. Some clothes. They really could have belonged to Angelina. And here, a little book. Is that... That's gotta be Angelina's diary. And here, there's a folded note in the book. But one thing at a time. What's she written on the last pages? Tuesday, I found him.
He's called Darren Michaels, or rather, that's the name they have given him, if I'm right about my suspicions. He's very nice. I don't think he has the faintest idea about the whole thing. I wanted to speak to Mrs. Michaels, but nobody came to the door when I rang the bell. There seems to be a man following me. Even before my departure, I had the feeling of being watched. What does the man want from me? Evening. Mrs. Michaels has had a terrible accident. She's lying in hospital with severe head injuries. I wonder if she had already fallen when I rang the bell. Oh, God, I'm imagining all sorts of horrible things. Wednesday. I've been arrested for the murder of a man whom I barely know. I was led into a trap. A voice told me over the phone that they had information about Darren. When I arrived at the store, I discovered the body and was promptly arrested. I think my pursuer is behind this. Or am I being paranoid? Who can have an interest in finally ending all of this? Afternoon. Darren is so sweet the way he's really gone to town to help me. He's so ready to help. He's a bit of an oddball, but I like him a lot. It doesn't matter if he is who I think he is. I found a good friend. Or maybe more. Later. Reginald Boris. That's my pursuer's name. There's no doubt anymore. He's here to hinder my search, to stop what I'm doing. Who has sent him? Evening. It's him. I know it now. He brought a little casket. Our first date. Inside there was a photo of his mother and the servant Bates. They were standing in front of the gate at Black Mirror Castle. I recognized it immediately. He simply has to be a Gordon. His mother had an affair, and after the fire, she went to the USA. But I don't have the guts to tell him. His mom's lying in the hospital, and he has enough to worry about. On the other hand, I've got to find out who my new adversaries are. What might happen if I were to take Darren back to Willow Creek, and in doing so, bring him into danger? I couldn't forgive myself for that. I'll go back on my own and start my own investigations into who our enemies are. I'll tell Darren everything at some point.
Like I thought. Angelina knew more than she let on the whole time, and she put herself in danger to protect me. It all fits together. The payments from Willow Creek, there being no pictures of my father, and me not being able to remember him. There was no car crash. There was a fire in the castle, and my mother was injured then. She was sent to the USA and received a pension, or maybe hush money. The only thing I don't understand, what is it all about? What did Angelina want to achieve, and what does the Order want to prevent? Most importantly, what have I got to do with it? There's nothing else in it. It's all scattered around. So she hid in here? In these rooms with an oil lamp and her notes? She was very brave. Or crazy. The gate won't move, and I can't see a latch or a keyhole. This note was stuck in the diary. It's a letter. Darren, I hope this letter finds you.
I can't tell you just how sorry I am that I wasn't honest with you right from the start. I've underestimated the danger from the Order for way too long. I've been playing a little game, and now it looks like I've lost. The Order's agents are creeping through the ruins, and it's only a matter of time until they discover this room. I'm going to hide the pieces, and I'm going to try to break through to get to the village. Perhaps I can at least keep them away from the gate. Should you be reading this letter, then I haven't made it. And so, I ask you to complete my work. You don't believe in the curse, I know that. How could you, though? You were so far away. But I came across some illustrations during my studies, and it's all true. Terrible things happen here every 12 years. And that's been going on for centuries. Maybe it's mass suggestion, or maybe it's some kind of radiation, or maybe it's a curse. Call it what you like, but it has to stop. The key to all evil is hidden beneath the Academy. A chamber which was used centuries ago for some kind of dark rites. There are also the soul keys which Samuel Gordon discovered 12 years ago. Destroy them. Destroy everything. And if it's all just a fantasy in the people's heads around here, take away the reason for them to fear. But guard yourself against the Order. It is an occult sect which I had believed to have died out. A great mistake. It still exists. They mess about with dead bodies and they want your blood. According to the legend, only a male Gordon can open the cult's chamber, touch the soul keys, and carry out the dark rituals. That is why I was looking for you. I believe that you are the last of the Gordons. You are in the greatest danger as long as the keys in Summoning Chamber are not destroyed. Then the Order will hunt you down to the very ends of the earth. Up until now, I haven't managed to penetrate the catacombs. To open the gate, you need to have the mosaic tiles. I have only found one. It's in my rucksack. The other two are hidden somewhere within the castle. The only clue I have to the hiding place of one of the other tiles is a name: Maximilian Mortimer Gordon. You have to return to Black Mirror Castle and look for the mosaic tiles there. The danger is great, since I'm sure that most of the castle's residents are also members of the Order, so don't make yourself known to them. It's the only chance of getting the mosaic pieces, and the only chance, perhaps, to discover who your father is. It's all so awful, Darren. It's as though I've opened Pandora's box. I wanted to do something good, and in doing so have brought you into terrible danger. I hope that everything will come good in the end, and that we too can start afresh together. With love, Angelina.
A curse? All of this because of a curse. The blood of the Gordons. An occult secret society which like to call up the devil in person. It's all so crazy. How can you kill folks in the name of such a fantasy? How can anyone get so caught up in this superstitious baloney that they kill for it? But Angelina's right. Bizarre as these people's motives might be, they're gonna keep on going as long as they can see a chance of achieving their goal. They've gotta be stopped. And I'm gonna stop them. Angelina's death shouldn't have been completely in vain. Nothing. No mosaic tiles. I think I know who's got it. A stone plinth. The pieces of mosaic that Angelina wrote about fit in the 3 grooves on each side of it. The piece of mosaic's not in the rucksack, and there's nothing else lying around here. And the raven flew in the direction of the castle. There's a big hole in the roof. It wasn't really able to withstand the weather. Black Mirror Castle. It'd be best if I walk and steer clear of the village and the roads. I knew my path would one day lead here. I'll find out who my father is, find the mosaic pieces, and make sure that Angelina's death hasn't been in vain. But I gotta be damn careful. According to Angelina, at least one of the castle's residents is a member of the Order. Maybe I can find out who that is. The 2 stone figures look almost identical. The stone figurine is a naked woman, a nymph. It seems they're a bit more relaxed with nudity here in England. there's a really thick branch lying in the undergrowth. Looks solid. It's damp but not rotten. It must have broken off the tree quite recently. Maybe in the storm yesterday. A tree branch, about 1.5 yards long. Pretty sturdy. I wouldn't even have dreamed of standing in front of this gate a few days ago. Huh. The braces on this door are badly weathered. Two have turned to rust and aren't even connected to the door frame at the bottom. Huh. The lock on the letterbox seems to be damaged. Empty. Empty. No way. The braces are only connected to the frame on one side, but they're much more resistant than I thought. Using this branch as a lever should work. That's it.
Hey! How did you get in here?
The gate was open.
Really? I'll wring that brat's neck. I've told her 100 times that the gate must always stay closed if we don't want yobbos snooping around the grounds.
If you're referring to me, I'm not a yobo. I'm a policeman.
You don't say. Then you're sure to have ID. Can I help you, sir?
I've told Mr.
Lewis, good sir. To you, it's just Lewis. You'll take care of this, Bates? Wonderful. You will have to excuse our gardener, sir. How can I help you?
My name is Falk. I'm investigating a murder that occurred at the lighthouse last night.
I heard about that. Terrible. But tell me, your accent.
I'm part of an exchange program. The United States, Canada, and Great Britain exchange detectives to learn about the various investigative methods. Sherlock Holmes meets Dick Tracy, you might say.
If the government deems it necessary. What about Inspector Collier? Shouldn't he be accompanying you?
He's, sick today.
I see. He is getting on a bit. How can I help you?
Phew. This is an amazing property.
Indeed. It's a place steeped in history.
Unfortunately, all that history often had plenty to do with blood, death, and misfortune, from what I've heard.
The Gordon family was often put to the test. That's true.
Forgive me for putting it like this, but the castle doesn't make the best impression.
I don't understand what that has to do with your inquiry, Mr. Falk.
A witness saw an unusual black car at the crime scene.
What do you mean by unusual? The Gordon family does have a classic 30s English automobile in its possession.
Unusual enough. Were you up on the cliff with the car this morning?
The ladies haven't driven out anywhere today. And I also don't think that Lewis has taken the car either. Ask him. He looks after the car. Mainly when he should be looking after the garden.
This Lewis has a bit of an abrupt manner.
He's Welsh.
Uh-huh.
He came with his mistress, Lady Eleanor, when she moved in here after the death of her husband. He used to look after her castle's gardens in Wales. He used to have a different kind of work ethic there.
Lady Eleanor owns a castle in Wales?
She does. Her husband, Sir Richard, was killed in a dreadful accident a few years back. She moved here soon after that.
Interesting. What can you tell me about Samuel's ghost, which some of the tourists believe they've seen?
Indeed, there are a few tourists who believe they have seen him. But nothing unusual has happened for 12 years now, apart from the castle being virtually besieged by tourists every now and again.
But not anymore.
No. Although, only yesterday there was a married couple who came to see the castle and its alleged ghost. Since they asked me politely in advance, I let them have a look around the garden. But did they find what they wanted? I very much doubt it. There are no ghosts here.
You said ladies.
Lady Victoria. She owns Black Mirror Castle, and Lady Eleanor is a relative of hers from Wales. The ladies are the last of the Gordons. They reside here in the castle.
Can I have a word with them?
I would prefer it if you didn't disturb them. Lady Victoria is not a young woman.
No harm in a few words, surely.
Whatever there might be to discuss, you can also discuss with me. I've been involved with the Gordons for more than 70 years. I can tell you everything you may wish to know.
This woman has been murdered. Did you know her?
Are you sure, sir?
Sadly, yes. Her name is Angelina Morgan. You seem to recognize her.
Come with me, sir. We'll have to show this to the ladies.
Fine.
One moment, please, sir. I'll announce your arrival.
What was that in the mirror?
Mr. Falk, their ladyships are ready to receive you.
Mr. Falk, is everything all right?
Yes, thank you. I didn't sleep well. Lady Victoria? Lady Eleanor. My name is Inspector Falk. I'm investigating a murder case.
Bates said you had a photograph of the victim.
That's right. Do you know her?
What's her name?
Angelina Morgan.
I don't know her.
If that's everything.
I do have a few more questions.
It's all right, Bates. Of course, we will be glad to cooperate with the police. Drive to the village and do the job I asked you to do. I'm sure the inspector will keep us company.
Very well, Mom.
So, how can we help you?
You seem to be extremely keen to see the picture of the dead woman. and Bates had a noticeable reaction when I showed him the picture. You are sure that you don't know this young lady?
Quite sure. Only we are concerned. The murder took place quite close to here.
Not the first.
Sadly, you're quite right. It's now. It's 12 years ago, you understand. So many years. And now there's another murder.
Tell me about the series of murders 12 years ago.
No. It doesn't have a thing to do with this crime.
Leave all that alone. Please confine yourself to this murder case. This is quite bad enough already.
Your butler Bates seems to be looking after you.
He has been our butler for decades. He is something like the decent soul of this house. He sees it as his highest duty to do all he can for my well-being. Also, even if he neglects his own welfare.
Is he ill?
Yes, I fear he is. We've often suggested that he sit with us and enjoy some peace and quiet for a while, but he always strictly denies that he can no longer fulfill his obligations. We've recently taken on domestic help to at least help him out a little.
May I look around the castle? I'd very much like to talk to Lewis one more time.
Of course. We have nothing to hide. Stay as long as you like. Only please keep away from the private rooms.
That goes without saying, ma'am. No, not now. Lady Victoria looks very old and weak. There's sorrow written all over her face. Lady Eleanor is a few years younger than Lady Victoria, but she must still be around 80. Her husband and Lady Victoria's husband were brothers, if I'm not mistaken, so the ladies aren't blood relatives. You've only been living here a few years, Lady Eleanor?
That's right. I didn't want to live alone in a big house after my husband died.
So you moved in with your relatives in Willow Creek and brought Lewis with you?
Lewis was our gardener in Wales. He is sometimes a bit difficult, but I didn't have the heart to lay him off. I offered him to come with me and look after the garden here.
Which he doesn't seem to do.
Well, he didn't cope very well with having to leave his garden and his home in Wales.
Tell me about your estate in Wales.
It's a lovely castle. Not as big or old as this one. I haven't been back since we left. I'm afraid it's probably in a terrible condition. And the marsh has probably spread even further. It's terrible. I couldn't stomach seeing our home like that. We had many happy years there.
When did your husband die?
A few years ago, Sir Richard, my husband, was a scientist. He did his experiments in a summer house. I used to joke that he would blow himself up one day. I didn't really believe that that's exactly what would happen.
I'm willing to bet that I was imprisoned in Lady Eleanor's castle. It all fits together perfectly, and the phone call would suggest that it wasn't chosen at random. Did she make her old estate available for the order to use? Lewis is here of his own free will. I don't understand why he doesn't give this new life a go.
You are young, Mr. Falk. You don't know what it's like having to leave your home behind you. Lewis's roots are in Wales. A tree withers without roots.
Why doesn't he go back then?
I've suggested it to him. I promised him a small amount of money to start him off. First, I thought he would do it, but then he stayed after all.
Strange.
He's a complicated man. He's been working for me for over 20 years, but I still don't have the feeling that I actually know him. I think he blames me for his unhappiness. He only ever speaks to me if it can't be avoided, and I can see that hate in his eyes.
What kind of research was Sir Richard doing?
He had very diverse interests. After the tragedy 12 years ago, he was mainly concerned with, well, with blood.
With blood.
He was convinced that the Gordons' blood must somehow be different from that of other people. I think he was looking for a scientific explanation for all of the misery that has accompanied the family for hundreds of years.
A curse in a test tube.
Insanity is hereditary, as you may know. Why not misfortune?
Or the misfortune is only the result of the hallucinations. That explains what Angelina was looking for in Wales. She was hoping that Richard had found out something interesting before he died. I'm going to have another look around. Goodbye, Lady Eleanor.
It's nice to see another face in this house.
A basket of knitting gear. Wool, scissors, and that kind of thing. May I borrow a piece of thread, Lady Eleanor?
Some thread?
Yes, please. About 2 yards?
Certainly. Help yourself.
Thanks. Good. Thread is always useful. I took some of the tear-proof stuff. A piece of thread about 2 yards long. You couldn't hang a ton off it, but it's not gonna shred. The plant hasn't been here long. Considering the amount of light it gets, it's not gonna last long either. No. I don't want to look in there again. Really not. Why are there only candles burning here? A huge metal globe. A monstrous thing. There's some letters engraved in the stone plate on the globe's pedestal. There are names. A whole series of them. Wait a minute. The first name is Maximilian Mortimer Gordon. That's the name from Angelina's notes. Does that mean... I can't hear anything. But the stone slab could be the lid of a secret compartment in the globe's pedestal. And it would be an ideal hiding place for a piece of mosaic. I'm almost certain there's a secret compartment hidden behind the stone slab. But how can I get to it? There's an ornate fence or some kind of barrier around the globe. No idea what that's for. The chair looks inviting, but it's too early to have a rest. Jeez. Now that's a friendly-looking face. That's how I imagine a bloodthirsty Russian czar would look like. Wild eyes, evil glare, and expensive clothes. I'm quite sure that he didn't earn the bling on his fingers and round his neck through hard work. A small fire for such an impressive fireplace. The old ladies here seem to be a lot tougher than back in the States. Over there, it'd be at least 82 degrees in every room. I'd say something like a knight or a nobleman. And judging by his clothing, he must have been around 100 years ago. He seems somehow familiar. Probably an ancestor of the Gordons. A large double-winged door. It's no different from the others. It's locked.
Inspector, you have no reason to be here. This door is to remain closed.
Certainly, madam. Please forgive me. Why is she making such a big deal about this door? What's behind the closed door over there?
There was a terrible fire here 24 years ago. Samuel's wife, Catherine, lost her life. That wing has been closed off since then. Too many memories, I think.
Did the fire start on the ground floor?
No, on the first floor. The ground floor was mostly spared, as far as I know. But even the rooms below those destroyed in the fire remain closed. Bates and Victoria make sure that no one goes into them.
I see. Was anyone else injured or killed?
One of the cooks was injured. As far as I know, she wanted to help and was badly burned.
I'm going to have another look around. Goodbye, Lady Eleanor.
It's nice to see another face in this house.
Victoria, would you please tell me what's behind the locked door?
Only an unused wing of the house.
Could I have a quick look in there?
No, unfortunately not. The wing is in danger of collapsing, and that's why it's closed off. For your own sake, keep well away from that wing.
Absolutely. I'll go and take a bit of a look around.
Of course.
Oh, excellent. Transylvania may be somewhere in Romania. But don't worry, we're ready for undead in this castle, too. That's for hanging up meat. Or playing pirates. A coffee grinder is the last thing I'd have expected in an English castle. But it looks really new and unused. An empty vase. It looks old, like everything here. Well, the dishes are well looked after, but you can't hide their age. They're becoming faded. A few teaspoons. They're all well polished and lined up in a neat row. just gonna take a spoon. Two little metal pots. Judging by the layer of dust, they're no longer used. No. You can't really make out anymore what this picture's supposed to be. Perhaps it's not such a good idea to hang pictures directly above the stove. A kitchen range that could really only be found in furniture catalogs of the last century. A pair of old rubber boots. They're as clean as when they were made, though. Perhaps they belonged to Lewis. Piece of thread about 2 yards long. You couldn't hang a ton off it, but it's not gonna shred. The silver spoon is way polished. The rubber boots were standing in the kitchen. They look pretty clean. They've probably just been cleaned. The door is bolted. Might lead to a storeroom or a cellar. Sally doesn't really seem to put her all into her job. Hello.
Oh, hello. A living soul. Here?
My name is Falk, Inspector Falk. I'm a policeman.
A copper. How exciting. I'm Sally.
Do you know this woman?
Never seen her before. Looks a bit like a snob.
I don't suppose there are pictures of all the cooks who have worked here by any chance.
No idea. Must be ages ago, though, since there was an actual cook here. Ask Bates, he knows everything.
I'd prefer not to ask either him or Lady Victoria.
Then I don't know either.
You and Bates look after everything here?
Well, looking after. Bates does most of that. He lets me do all the dirty work, cleaning, cooking, and all that sort of thing.
Isn't that your job?
That's what he says all the time. But being honest, I'd expected something quite different, you know? I mean, a castle with such knobs living in it. You'd expect the odd soiree every now and again.
Or, cute prince.
Well, Charles is off the market now. But anyone under 80 would do this place a world of good. Sometimes it really does seem like a grave here.
What can you tell me about Lewis?
A disgusting man. Ugh. I was hoping when I started he wouldn't be a snob like all the others are here. But he's just as boring and in a permanent bad mood. I never get more than 3 words out of him.
Do you know what's behind the locked door in the hall?
I've asked myself that question too. But you can't get a thing out of Bates about it. Once, he got me listening at the door. He gave me such a telling off, like nothing I'd ever known before. He was so mad, he nearly collapsed. He was coughing blood and I had to hold him up. I've been giving the door a wide berth since then.
I've got to find out what's behind that door. The rooms there would be an ideal hiding place for one of the mosaic tiles. Is Lady Victoria a good boss?
I don't know. Bates hardly lets me talk to her. When I first came here, I made her ladyship a few suggestions on how she might want to redecorate the castle a bit. Just get rid of a bit of the mustiness, you know? Since then, I always have to ask Bates if I want something from her ladyship.
What's wrong with Lady Eleanor?
What could be wrong with her? Snore. Sits around all day either knitting or reading.
Anything else?
She plays piano for Lady Victoria every now and again. In this house, that counts as having a wild party. You know, it's about time I got myself another position.
You want to leave?
Yeah, sooner rather than later. Maybe to a movie or a pop star's house. Somewhere where things are a bit lively at least.
Can you tell me anything about Samuel's ghost? Apparently it's been seen by a few tourists.
Oh yeah, I've seen it too. At one of the windows. It scared the living daylights out of me. A gruesome face. I hope I'll never see it again.
Huh. That's true. At which window?
I don't remember exactly. I think it was in the Forbidden Wing.
Forbidden Wing.
Yeah, you know, what's behind the locked door in the hall.
Okay. I won't keep you from your work any longer.
Ah, don't worry about it.
These things are to blame for the English still driving on the left. If you were to guide your horse with your right hand, you'd run the risk of being squashed between the wagons. Who have we got here? Huh. This thieving magpie in a raven suit has something I need. An ancient well. I can't imagine that it's still in use. Even this place must have a normal water supply by now. I bet the raven stole the piece of mosaic from Angelina's backpack and brought it here to its nest. An old wooden staircase. Probably leads to the stableman's room. That's probably the Gordon's family coat of arms. I don't know anything about heraldry. There are complicated rules about creating and reading coats of arms. It probably means something like, "We are a very old family, but unfortunately also quite insane. Please keep your distance." The gate must have been replaced a short time ago. The wood still looks new. But I don't think there's anything suspicious about that. Old wooden ladder. It seems to have been used a lot. The rungs are really worn and smooth. The best of British technology. At least it used to be. Huh. Ralph was talking about a shiny black car. Is this the one he saw? But who drove from the castle to the crime scene this morning? And what were they doing there? The floor here is rain-sodden and very muddy. Like that at all. I gotta be careful. Ravens have got hard beaks that are sharp as knives. They can really make a mess of you. The floor here is... Ow! The critter starts pecking at my fingers as soon as I get near the nest. As long as the bird's in the nest, I've got no chance. Why should I tie a thread with nothing on it to the fence? I knotted the spoon to the thread. You're not gonna free that in a hurry. Let's try it. Look at this, a shiny spoon. Excellent. Angelina's mosaic piece. A piece of mosaic for a spoon. A good deal for me. It reminds me of the leaded glass in church windows. Different colored pieces of glass bound with thin metal strips. According to Angelina, all three pieces together will open the access to the catacombs under the old academy. Now the boots look like boots should. Dirty. The rubber boots have got mud and earth from the puddles in the stables stuck to them. Lewis toolbox. Various wrenches, a cloth, a hammer, pliers, all the things you need. I think I'll take the big hammer. I could also use it as a weapon if I need to, which might be the case in this place. A rather large and heavy hammer. It's not here for banging nails into walls. This is for knocking stuff down. He's devotedly working on his car. Seems to mean more to him than the garden. Hey, Lewis.
You again? I thought you'd been thrown out.
Lady Victoria gave me permission to have a look around the castle and the gardens.
How nice of her. What do you want?
What can you tell me about the castle?
Nothing. A big, ugly building.
With an overgrown garden.
What have I got to do with that?
Aren't you the gardener?
My garden's a few 100 miles west of here.
In Wales.
That's right.
So you just do the bare minimum here, if at all.
The garden's too big for one man alone, and what's the point in looking after it? This old place is doomed. The house is falling apart. The lady won't live for much longer, and Bates is as good as dead.
You're hoping that Lady Eleanor will return to Wales when Lady Victoria dies?
Perhaps.
That's a nice car.
Certainly is. The only decent surprise here. I discovered it behind the stables, built it back up from scratch. My father used to work on a car like this, and he taught me quite a bit.
Do you sometimes take it out for a spin? To the coast, for example?
I drive the ladies. They used to still have bloody horses in the stable, but looking after them was too much effort for the old folks. Now, this is the only pair of wheels. But the ladies don't leave the house much at all. Bates usually walks to the village. He says it's good for his health, but every time it takes a bit longer.
You weren't at the coast with the car this morning.
No.
What can you tell me about Lady Eleanor?
If you want to know something about Lady Eleanor, then you better ask Lady Eleanor. She's her own favorite subject.
You mean she's egotistical?
She threw everything away and fled here in a mad rush after Sir Richard died. Who does such a thing?
The castle and the garden in Wales reminded her of her dead husband.
And she should have thought of the family history. You don't just give up an house where generations have lived and worked.
How did her husband die?
He blew himself up, did all kinds of strange experiments. In the last years, he became obsessed with uncovering the secret of what drove Sir William and his sons insane. He hardly left his lab anymore, and collapsed in exhaustion more than once. Her ladyship was very worried.
Bates seems to be very tired.
He's terminally ill. The doctors say it's a miracle he's still alive. But let me tell you, Bates will kick the bucket on the very same day that Lady Victoria dies. Like a dog that follows its master. I think he just finds it unfitting to die before his mistress.
He says he's worked for the Gordons for more than 70 years and that he knows all their secrets.
I'd believe that at the drop of a hat. No one knows the castle and garden better than him. But when it gets to his own bonds, he's getting forgetful. A loyal soul. That's why they've given him Sally, I think.
I met Sally.
The only one in the castle who's not at least 100 and starting to decay.
Is she a good housekeeper?
She's lousy.
She often seems to be in trouble with Bates because of that.
He's the one that chose her, and turned away much better candidates.
Why did he do that?
Yeah, if you're worried about being replaced.
Then you chose the worst possible replacement to stay indispensable yourself.
That's how it is.
Lewis, do you believe in ghosts? Some tourists claim they've seen some here.
Oh, yeah, the reputed ghost. They besieged us for weeks on end after Murray planted that rumor. A whole pack of them completely trashed the garden.
Lady Eleanor said she gave you the option of going back home to Wales, and even offered some money to get you set up.
I don't know what that's got to do with you.
I just find it strange. You desperately want to go back, and I'll even offer some money, too.
And then? Work as a caretaker in a new bloody housing estate? I've offered more than once to look after the castle in Wales, and keep it in working order. But apparently there's not enough money for that.
So, it's not so much about going back to Wales. It's more about going back to your castle and your garden.
That's right.
What you really want is to turn back time. Unfortunately, that's never been possible. Well, see you later.
Not if I see you first.
Good day, Sally.
Yes?
Lewis seems to take care of his car rather better than the garden.
That's for sure. Ever since I've been here, he's been doing something to it nearly every day. And when he's not fixing it, he's either polishing or driving around in it.
Has he driven it this morning?
This morning? Yeah, he did. I heard him starting it up. You can't help but hear that.
But you didn't see him.
I know exactly what that car sounds like. When he's working on it, he must start it something like 20 times a day.
But you weren't able to see whether or not Lewis or somebody else was driving it.
Lewis is the only one who drives that car.
Okay. Lewis said that Bates selected you for the position, not her ladyship.
Yeah, that's right. There were a few candidates. The cleverest ones made for the exit as soon as they reached the gate. But if I was being honest, I thought that out of those I met, there were a few of them who were better suited to the job than I was. I was a bit surprised when he chose me.
He must have been impressed by your hidden qualities.
Yeah, and so now, all he does is moan about everything. He spends the whole day creeping about after me. Sally, do this, do that, don't do that. Like being in school.
Okay, I won't keep you from your work any longer.
Don't worry about it.
I don't have anything to ask her at the moment. Lady Victoria's on the phone. Let's see.
Young man. It's not befitting, even for a policeman, to eavesdrop behind closed doors.
I didn't mean to. Pardon me. Were they talking about me? But why should Lady Victoria, of all people, cooperate with the Order? She's got more of a reason than anyone else to want to put an end to the curse. I don't have anything to ask her at the moment. An old, original English teapot. My mom used to have a similar one. I could ring for tea time. That would get the ladies out of the hall and leave me to have a good go at the stone slab by the globe. Busy at the moment. I don't want to disturb her.
Don't touch! Please excuse me, but this teapot is very old, and Bates has told me many times that I must look after it carefully. He's just popped down to the village to get some tea. We've run out.
There's no more tea? I didn't even think that would be possible in an English castle.
They said that the tea had gone bad. He got rid of it.
Huh. Or he needed an excuse to go to the village. He's so busy at the moment. I don't want to... Sally doesn't really seem to put her all into the job. I don't have anything to ask her at the moment. The castle is very beautiful, but, well,
It's slowly falling down, you mean? I'm afraid you're right. It's not the only thing here that's falling down.
How do you mean that?
The Gordon line. We've lived here in this area for centuries and have shaped it like no one else. Our family is going to die out, Mr. Falk. Soon, there won't be any more Gordons. And the worst thing is, I am no longer even sure that this will be a loss.
You mean because of...
Because of the misery for which some of us are responsible. Yes.
I've just realized that if Angelina's right, then this woman is my grandmother. She doesn't seem to know anything about her grandson. Or maybe she does. Her look was somehow strange. Your domestic help, this Sally...
Ah, have you already met her?
She doesn't really seem to fit in here.
With us old people, do you mean?
She seems to be the exact opposite of Bates.
That's a sharp observation. She embodies everything which is the opposite of Bates. Undisciplined, untidy, unreliable. She gossips.
Perhaps he wanted to demonstrate to you what you have in him.
I know exactly what I have in him. But I also know he's not well. He can no longer care for the house and us old ladies all on his own. I will look for the next domestic help. And it will be someone rather more industrious. Someone who will rarely take the load off Bates.
I'll go and take a bit of a look around.
Of course.
That's supposed to be. It looks a bit like a sentinel. So much for the nakedness in England. 4 naked girls at once here. And the chap they're all entertaining really seems to be enjoying it. I can't make out from here whether the real gas lamps or electric lamps made to look old. Anywhere else, I'd be absolutely certain that there wouldn't be real gas lamps hanging from the ceiling. Not here. It's locked. There's probably nothing special inside anyway. An antique vase or carafe. I'll leave that where it is. An old-fashioned telephone. But who should I call? Powder, makeup, and so on. Nothing of any use to me. What an effort it must take to keep this old tiled floor so clean. I can imagine Bates checking twice a day to see if any dirt accumulates in the nooks and crannies in the meantime. A pile of towels. Small ones, big ones, nothing but towels. I wonder what was going on with that mirror down there in the hall. I really thought I saw Samuel Gordon. I'll probably collapse of exhaustion when this is all over. I look tired. That is so comfortable. A bench in a bathroom. Jeez. Curtains in the bathroom. Oh, each their own. A tap, like any other you might have found in this country 50 years ago. An old-fashioned bathtub. Doesn't look uncomfortable, but it would be too small for me. It's running. The rubber boots have got mud and earth from the puddles in the stables stuck to them. Oh, what a mess. Used to be clean. The door is locked. Good day, Sally.
Yes?
I noticed that the bathroom floor up there is extremely dirty.
What? Not again.
It looks like boot prints.
I've told Lewis a million times he shouldn't come through the house in his muddy boots. Damn it. I better clean that up before the old git notices it. Otherwise, he'll have me cleaning it again and again and again.
Sally is distracted. Time to secretly take the teapot to the library. And then I'll try to work out where I can get some tea at short notice. An English teapot. Looks pretty ancient, but well cared for. I can use it to lure the ladies in the library. That's the Gordon's family tree. Almost the same as the one in Wales. An old-fashioned telephone. But who should I call? At its peak, the British Empire encompassed around a quarter of the entire landmass of the planet and around a third of its population. The globe is from this period. The ladies probably approve more of this division of the world than the real one. Stories, adventures, and fairy tales. Dickens, Defoe, Anderson, Jules Verne. These are probably the most modern books in this library. A little side table with a tea service on it, but no tea and no teapot. So, the teapot and service are already in place. Now we just need some tea. It'll be dangerous for me in the village. The Order will definitely be looking for me there. But it'd be a good opportunity to see if Bates is trying to alert the Order. I'm gonna have to go back to the village and get some tea. But before I enter the lion's den, I'm gonna take some precautions. It'd be best if I lure the entire Order in the hotel. Then I can walk around the village square in relative peace. Here's a phone. Then, let's do it. Murray? Hello. Darren Michaels here. Oh, I'll be leaving today. I'll be at the hotel in about half an hour. No, I just wanted to let you know so you can write the bill. Nothing to pay? Oh, right. I paid in advance. Never mind. Now you know. See you in half an hour, Murray. See you soon. Okay, so Murray knows. If I'm not completely mistaken, most of the Order will be waiting for me at the hotel in half an hour. To the village. Looks as if the ivy has killed the tree and now attacking the house. Quite convenient for a burglar. But as long as I'm allowed to roam freely, I'm not gonna start climbing around on the facade. Go. The Order's distracted and Bates is still in Willow Creek. Let's see what he's really up to. I thought so. I hardly believed he was shopping at the library. Damn it, Tom's here again. So Bates has got something to do with the Order. I've got to get closer, but better around the outside.
But you are generously compensated.
Yeah. You know exactly how much I need this bloody compensation.
I will not tolerate that tone of voice. You know.
All right, man. I'll go and look for her.
Thank you very much.
Huh. The stall is shut. Obviously, Tom's also up to some shady doings for the Order again. All the better. Locked. Damn. How else can I get a tea in this dump of a place? I have to get inside. I don't have time to wait until this evening. How fitting. Cracking Tom's door with his own tool. The same principle as in the hotel. The wire snapped. But I've achieved what I wanted to. The Brits seem to have a talent for coming up with all these weird games and sports. Golf, billiards, soccer, darts, and all those crazy horse sports. Like everything else around here, looks a bit secondhand. Mainly English, Scottish, and Irish specialties. Whiskey, gin, and so on. There's the tea I need. Now, quickly back to the castle. Tea. The brand doesn't mean a thing to me. Photos of famous celebs who visited the pub. Impressive. Even the Lord Mayor's been here. I guess Bates isn't back yet. Everything's ready. Just need some hot water. I'll just let Sally know. Sally put her cleaning things down here. An old metal bucket and a mop. I'll take the mop with me. Pile of towels. Small ones, big ones, nothing but towels. I look tired. Sally doesn't really seem to put her all into her job. Good day, Sally.
Yes?
Sally, Bates has asked me to tell you that you can announce tea time today. Now all we're missing is the hot water.
Oh, so I'm good enough for that now, am I?
He was rather exhausted after doing the shopping.
No wonder. I don't understand why he simply didn't tell Lewis to go.
I do. They're drinking tea. I don't want to annoy them. Insanity is hereditary. What's wrong with me? What are these visions? Samuel had a book in his hand, and he was pointing to this tile. A lion's head. I think the lion was a symbol of immortality in ancient times. What's that gonna do with a bathtub? The apparition pointed to these tiles. It won't move at all. Whoa! There's a cavity behind it. Huh. A big heavy wash rag. Probably older than me. A handwritten page from a book. It looks like it's from William Gordon's diary, with additions from his grandson, Samuel. As far as I know, they both fell from one of the castle towers. Now, did Samuel rip out the page and read it first? But then, why? There are lots of little pyramids, triangles scribbled on the page in a circle. 3 of them have been crossed out. Now, I've seen these triangles somewhere before. They seem to be the same pyramids that are in Samuel's diary. Let's see. You can push them in. Yes, finished. But nothing's happening. I knew it. A secret compartment. And inside there's the second piece of mosaic.
What are you doing there, sir?
I was just looking at this space here. Unusual, isn't it?
Indeed it is. There was always a stone slab there before.
Perhaps someone removed it.
I will ask Sally about that.
That was close.
Lady Victoria, I've just returned from the village and I thought you might like to know.
Very good, Bates. Take a break for half an hour. No debate now.
Mr. Bates?
Yes?
I've noticed a huge locked door on the ground floor.
I'd keep away from that, sir.
Why?
There was fire in the rooms through there some years ago. The damage was never properly repaired. The walls have been ruined by rainwater, and the beams have been rotting for 20 years or more. I think you would risk your life going into that wing of the house.
Lady Victoria.
Yes, sir.
She seems to me to be rather bitter.
She is a dignified old lady who has to bear a greater burden than I would wish for her.
The death of her husband and her 2 sons, the murders, the castle's decline, the end of the family line.
You said it, sir.
What can you tell me about Lady Eleanor?
If you want to know something, why don't you ask her yourself?
I'd like to hear your opinion. Why do you think she brought Lewis here with her after her husband's death?
And what do you mean by that, sir? Really? I ask you, sir. Lady Eleanor is a lady, and she treats her servants accordingly. Lewis would have been unable to get a new position. He's simply too old. We can offer him a form of retirement here.
But neither Lewis nor Lady Eleanor give the impression of being happy with the arrangement. You could maybe even believe that she owes him something.
I would be aware of that, and I can tell you that your surmising is incorrect.
Are you not feeling too well, Mr. Bates?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Perhaps you should have a lie down.
I'll have a lie down when I have time to do so. The work won't get done on its own.
Sally could do it.
I doubt that very much.
That must have been quite some fire to destroy the wing like that.
It was a dreadful tragedy, such as we've already suffered too many times here. It must now be 24 years ago. Master Samuel and his enchanting wife Catherine were just married and had only recently moved into the castle. We were hoping that he would one day take over the castle from his father and give us a son and heir. But then, they had not even been here for 6 months. There was a fire.
Did anyone know how the fire started?
No. Master Samuel lost his wife in the fire, and then vanished for the next 12 years. He'd been deeply wounded by the events.
You don't think too much of Sally?
I don't think too much of her work.
So why do you employ her?
It wasn't my idea. Her ladyship insisted that we should employ a relief.
Not a great choice, apparently.
It won't last long. She'll soon have enough and then disappear.
Were there any other victims of the fire? Anyone injured, perhaps?
Our cook at the time was the first to discover the fire and tried to pull young Mrs. Gordon from the flames. She became trapped by the flames and would have burnt to death had she not saved herself by leaping out of a window. But she injured her back very badly and had to leave us after that. Why are you interested in things which happened here so many years ago?
Well, the young lady at the lighthouse was also burnt.
I find the connection rather stretched.
What kind of a man was he, this Samuel Gordon?
His father sent him off to boarding school early since he was a very obstinate, wild child. His behavior improved at the school. The teachers described him as an alert, intelligent, and friendly. In the holidays, we found him so too. He got to know Miss Catherine after being at school. A wonderful, good-hearted woman. They were married and seemed to have found a perfect happiness.
What do you mean, seemed?
Well, there were some arguments when they lived here.
Was he violent?
To her, I don't really know. But I fear he may have been. Miss Catherine was unhappy, and if there hadn't been some wonderful times every now and again, then she perhaps would have left him. It could have been noticeable to us at that time. The two faces of Samuel Gordon. On the one hand, the loving, caring husband, and on the other, the arrogant and brutish egomaniac. After his wife's death, this nasty side of him seemed to disappear. He never visited us. However, common acquaintances described him as a profoundly sad and broken man.
That is, until he returned and slaughtered some innocent people.
It's terrible. We all wonder ourselves. Perhaps we didn't want to believe that this evil side of his soul had returned.
I'll catch you later, Bates.
Goodbye, sir.
It's running. I'll lay the mop head directly over the plug hole. That should create a distraction. The bathtub is full to the brim and starting to overflow. If no one does something about it soon, there'll be water damage. The floor is sparkling clean again. Sally's done a good job. Mr. Bates?
Yes?
Mr. Bates, the bathroom's underwater.
Sorry?
I was just going past the bathroom, and the water was already washing into the hall.
Can you please get Sally, sir?
Good day, Sally.
Yes?
Sally, quick! The bathroom's underwater.
What?
Bates is really mad. You must have forgotten to turn the water off.
Oh, me? No, no! But I really don't know how that could have happened.
I've had enough of your excuses. You've missed something there.
But I have never left the flannel in the bathtub.
Oh, her ladyship will hear about this. You can consider yourself lucky if we don't subtract the damages from your wages.
They're both occupied. Bates is distracted. Okay, let's go. I've no idea who that is. There's no name on it. It's not one of the usual suspects. Not Shakespeare, not an ancient Greek. You can see straight away that Bates isn't well. He seems to have problems breathing. Perhaps lung cancer. There are clothes and underwear inside. Nothing important. So what does Bates read then? Heinlein, Dick, Lem, Zalazny. Wow, man really has taste. The portrait of an uptight, miserable gentleman. Well, that's what you look like if you have to sit still for hours for an artist. The butler is an orderly person, just as you'd expect. I can't find anything interesting. The drawer is locked. That could be interesting. The window looks out towards the castle gate. I can see the steps, the trees, nothing of interest. This bedpost looks more than a little strange. There's a slot in the side of the post. What have we got here? Hey, there's a little brass key inside. A little brass key. It could belong to Bates's desk drawer. It's too small for a door key. I reckon that this page isn't gonna help me much more without the rest of the diary. Small metal box. A few documents. And a photo. That's my mother. It's a picture of Mom, Bates, and a few other servants in the snow in front of the entrance portal. Underneath it says, "The Good Spirits of Black Mirror Castle. Christmas 1969. That doesn't add up. I was born in February 1970, and in this picture, my mother doesn't look at all like she's 7 months pregnant. Does that mean... No, the photo must have been labeled wrong. A checkbook, a few notifications, and transfer forms. These are exactly the same ones I found in my mom's desk, and the handwriting is an exact match too. So it was Bates who was regularly sending cash to my mom. But on whose behalf? And am I really just looking for my father? This thing here could still be interesting. There's a note here between the papers. It has a header which says combination. Either the writing on the photo is wrong, or I'm not just looking for my father. The picture was taken apparently 2 months before I was born. But my mom's looking slimmer than I've ever seen her. That looks like some kind of an aid memoir that Bates has written out. He must have conceded that his memory wasn't getting any better and wanted to play it safe. It says here, on Sir Egmont's portrait, the builder's eldest sister, my Christian name, the nymph's numbers. Still occupied.
We're going to discuss this immediately.
But nothing happened!
Only because the police officer discovered it before it was too late. Do you know what might have happened?
They're going downstairs. Excellent. In all the commotion, Bates will have forgotten that he didn't lock his room. XVIII is written on the bottom corner. Ah, a Roman 18. He looks tired and old. I'll give him a few minutes break from me. Hey, Lewis.
What is it now?
Sally says that you were out in the car this morning.
Sally should keep her nose in her gossip magazines where it belongs.
So you didn't go out in the car this morning?
I said that already.
I don't believe it. Well, see you later.
Not if I see you first.
Judging by its condition, the car was probably in use up until a few years ago. But it's been standing there for some time now. XX is engraved on the base. Either there's an X missing to warn of its lewdness, or it's a Roman 20. There's a Roman numeral carved into the base of the figurine. 19. There isn't really anything to see on the base of this figurine, just a vertical line. Is it supposed to be a Roman 1? Let's see. The nymphs have the numbers 1, 18, 19, and 20 on them. That would be 58 in total. Oh, symbols. What have these numbers got to do with the aid memoir? Maybe the numbers represent letters of the alphabet. What would that give us? A, R, S, T. Cars? No. Star. Yes, of course. The symbol is a star. Hey, there's a letter inside. It's addressed to Mr. Bates, Blackmere Castle, Willow Creek. If Bates's full name isn't going to be on the envelope, then perhaps maybe at least in the letter? It's a bill for a gravestone, made according to your desired blah blah blah. The inscription is as follows: Edward Bartholomew Bates, to know one's duty to carry it through. That is everything. So, Edward Bartholomew then. Weird name. Which symbol does that point to? I'll give him a few minutes break from me. Good day, Sally.
Yes,
Does the name Sir Egmont mean anything to you?
Sir Egmont? Of course.
Really? Who's that then?
And why do you want to know that?
I need the information for my investigation.
And what if I didn't tell you?
What's that supposed to mean? Come on, tell me.
Well, one good turn. Being a copper, you can certainly do me a little favor. My brother Rupert's got a problem with a few speeding tickets. Maybe you could...
Hey, slow down. I'm not the traffic police. Tell me who Sir Egmont is, or your brother's speeding tickets will be the least of your problems.
You can't force me. I'm not telling you anything until you've helped me out too.
Okay. So what's your brother's name?
Rupert Wood.
I'll see if there's anything that can be done. Perhaps I can fool her on this. Okay. I won't keep you from your work any longer.
Don't worry about it.
Can you tell me where Sally's from?
Her family has a farm in Sussex. At least that's what she told me.
Do you doubt that?
Not really. Her behavior and the way she talks quite clearly point to farmyard origins.
I'll catch you later, Bates.
Goodbye, sir.
Do you know where Sally comes from?
Oh, now you're asking me something. She's from a farm. Her brother took over the farm from their parents, as far as I know. But I can't remember where the farm is.
Is there a Sir Egmont in the Gordon family?
Sir Egmont? No. That doesn't ring a bell at all.
Or perhaps is there someone in the area with the name?
No. I'm sorry. Not that I know of.
Strange. Someone who Bates knows, but not Lady Victoria. That doesn't make things simpler exactly. Do the names Edward or Bartholomew mean anything to you?
Mean anything? What do you mean by that, Mr. Fogg?
Perhaps you associate a particular symbol or sign with these names.
Oh, I've always been interested in these kinds of things. Now, let me think. Now, Edward doesn't have any significance for me, but the name Bartholomew comes from the Bible. Saint Bartholomew. He was one of the 12 apostles. He preached in Persia and also in India, possibly. He died a martyr's death. He was flayed alive. His skin was removed. That's why his symbol is a knife.
A knife. I think you may well have helped me with that.
Glad to. Even if I do find your questions rather odd. Surely they can't all be to do with the dead girl.
Oh, it's a complicated case. As I understand it, this house was built by your two ancestors, Marcus and Mordred. Is that correct?
Well, they at least laid the foundation stone. Most of the foundations, the cellars, and a few walls are from that period.
not the rest.
Oh no. You don't seem to be too au fait with architecture, Inspector. In Marcus's time, they weren't able to build castles like this. That came much later.
Who gave the castle its present-day look?
Many of the masters of Black Mirror improved and extended the castle, laid the gardens, and modernized all of the fixtures and fittings. But the one who really had the greatest influence on the fabric of the castle, as you see it now, was Frederick Arthur Gordon. He gave the castle the appearance it has today.
Frederick Arthur Gordon, then. Thank you. I'll go and take a bit of a look around.
Of course.
Does the name Sir Egmont mean anything to you?
A remote neighbor in Wales was called Sir Egmont. But you surely can't mean him.
No, surely not. Sir Egmont must be someone that Bates knew personally. Otherwise, the aide memoir would make no sense. I'm going to have another look around. Goodbye, Lady Eleanor.
It's nice to see another face in this house.
Answer to the pretty name of Rose. I'll give him a few minutes. I don't see what old ladies get out of knitting. Perhaps it just helps them kill time. Let's try it. Hello, operator? Please put me through to Rupert Wood in Sussex. Yes, I'll wait. Mr. Wood, Mr. Rupert Wood. Do you have a sister named Sally? Yes, my name's Inspector Falk. I'm calling on behalf of the traffic police. Yes, calm down. No, listen. No, she isn't. It's concerning your speeding ticket, sir. It seems as though someone has made a mistake. According to our records, you are 99 years old. That surely can't be right, can it? 34. Yes, I thought so. Listen, I'm gonna delete the record, okay? Your speeding ticket is thereby null and void. Yes. No problem. Goodbye, Mr. Wood. Rupert Wood, 34, from Sussex, now believes that his speeding ticket has disappeared into thin air. Hopefully his sister believes that too. Good day, Sally.
Yes?
All right. The speeding tickets have been canceled. Now what's all this about Sir Egmont?
So, where does my brother live and how old is he?
Rupert Wood, 34, domiciled in Sussex, as of now, does not have any speeding tickets against him.
You're a darling.
Okay, that's enough. Now, will you at last tell me who Sir Egmont is?
Here he is.
Breakfast cereal?
Sir Egmont's finest breakfast flakes. They're Bates's favourite. They're very soft and easy to chew.
Clever. And what does the old guy wear on his uniform? A medal in the shape of a cross. That's it. Okay. I won't keep you from your work any longer.
Ah, don't worry about it.
Sir Egmont's breakfast flakes. They show some grumpy old guy in a uniform. There's a huge great medal on his chest in the shape of a cross. It's too heavy for a jewelry box. I guess it's more like some kind of old-fashioned casket. That's it. A big key. There's only one door here whose key you hide in a casket. And a small golden medallion. Or at least half a small golden medallion. It must have been one you could open originally. There's small hinges on it. Inside is a photo of me. Me as a little boy, 3 or 4. I'm certain it looks just like the pictures of me as a child in Boston. Was I adopted? There's something engraved on the back of it. Adrian. Is that my name? And if it is, why was it changed when I was adopted? To make it more difficult for the Order to find me? My photo is in one half of the locket. The name Adrian is engraved on the back. A lovely, large, old-fashioned key. Apparently behind the door are just a few rooms, all in danger of collapsing since the fire. Time for a few answers. is the only accessible room in this wing. Next door is locked, and all the other rooms are completely dilapidated. The material is really rough and old. It's grown stiff over the years. The curtains are very tasteful and can't have been cheap. They're probably even made by hand. There hasn't been a fire in this fireplace for ages. There's some white ashes on the floor, but no wood. Another old picture like all the rest. A woman with a rigid face and dead eyes. I think that the picture has turned out very well. There's a huge mirror built into the wall. Quite elaborate for such a simple mirror. There's a small wooden plate lying here. It looks like it belongs to a game. I've got the feeling I've seen it somewhere before. Someone has written Ralph on the back. A thing from a kid's game. There's an animal head on the front. And on the back it says Ralph. I think I'll pay Ralph a little visit. This wooden plate has something to do with him. Hello, Ralph?
Hi, Darren.
Ralph? I've got something here and was wondering if you could maybe help me out with it.
I've got one of those too. Here, look.
A sliding block puzzle. I remember those from when I was a kid.
Yeah. Is it yours? A nice lady gave it to me.
A lady?
Yes, I couldn't recognize her, but Mr. Bubby says she's a holy one.
Interesting.
Mr. Bubby says you can have it. It's a bit broken.
Well, that's very nice of Mr. Bubby. Thanks a lot. I need to get going, Ralph.
See you.
I remember this game from when I was a kid. I really liked playing it back then. There's something rattling inside when I shake it. I've got to get it so that the number of the same colored counters in a row corresponds to the number on the edge. I don't know what happens after that, though. ball's outside. Now let's see what we can start with this. A little metal ball. Nothing really special about it, except that it's fairly heavy for its size. The mirror is very lavish and ornately framed. There seems to be some kind of mechanism at the bottom of it. I've got no idea how it works. I think something's missing. Yes, it fits. The little ball rolls around the outer circle. Now I need to adjust something else. I think it has to get to the middle. I think the ball has to go into the hole in the middle, but I can only put it in the front. Ah, I can rotate the individual discs with this button at the front. The buttons on the side seem to make the partition walls go down. Alright, let's see. Got it. Ah, the mirror. It's actually a secret door. There isn't the slightest sign of decay. In fact, this is one of the most well-maintained rooms I've seen in the entire castle. It looks like a nursery in an old movie. A girl's room. Look at this. More little balls. I've had enough of mirrors, especially in this castle. Like in a dollhouse. A four-poster bed, velvet, silk, and lace. Whoever it was that set this up wanted a doll for a child. These windows also look out in the courtyard, just like in the mirror room. You can't see either of the rooms when you're standing in front of the castle. Just another door that's not gonna get in my way. A porcelain music box. And underneath it, the third piece of mosaic. This piece of mosaic isn't any different from the other two. All three together will open the access to the temple chamber. A very lovely theme. This melody